Hello, I'm Judith Baca, and I'm presenting today a conceptual design for Mesa College to commemorate Rosa Parks, a woman who became a spark that lit the fire of the struggle for social justice. Rosa Parks was a seamstress in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, and a graduate of the Highlander Folk School in Tennessee. She was, most importantly, a politically conscious woman, the secretary of the NAACP, who hated injustice and believed in working for change. She acted on her beliefs at a moment when it mattered at great risk to her own well-being. Her simple act of refusal to move to the colored-only section of the bus spurred a massive boycott by the African American community, in which 40,000 black people in Montgomery walked for 381 days rather than submit to the indignity of Jim Crow laws that permitted them to be treated as second-class citizens. Despite segregationist retaliation with acts of terrorism against black churches and leaders, including the bombing of Martin Luther King's home, the people persisted and were successful at changing the law. Rosa Parks was a reluctant hero throughout her 92 years of life, despite the fact that her actions spurred a civil rights struggle that transformed a nation in substantive ways. Our proposal is to create a site of public memory as a memorial to Rosa Parks, through the creation of a bus shelter. As people wait for a bus, they will sit in a shelter composed of elements that are taken from a 1955 Alabama bus and on seats that replicate those that Rosa sat on the day of her arrest. A stainless steel pole, a window shape, riveted metal bus shelter roof, and so forth. The shelter is meant to allow the bus rider to become a participant in history as they wait for the bus and create a sense memory of those historic events. The interior of the bus shelter will be inscribed with the words of Rosa Parks in the place that might have been used for advertising on an Alabama bus. Also inscribed will be important historical facts that will enlighten the viewer about the events that led to the overthrow of Jim Crow.
And he had asked me to stand. I said, yes. He said, well, why don't you stand up? I said, I don't think I should have to stand up. And I asked him, I said, why do you push us around? He said, I do not know, but the law is a law and you're under arrest.
Integral to the structure, the back of the shelter will be composed of steel core images of the walkers who, through great hardship of walking thousands of miles collectively, changed an intolerable human condition through dignified acts of resistance. The figures are depicted in steel core and allowed to turn to a dark brown patina in the air and will require little or no maintenance, creating a lattice-like treatment for the enclosure. People will see through the openings around the figures, developed from the drawings of images of the historic walkers. One walker, an aging woman, carries a basket on her head, reminiscent of the traditional African woman, recalling the ancient origins of contemporary African American people. In conclusion, it has long been a dream of mine to do an artwork on Rosa Parks, and I would be honored, if selected, to produce this work to commemorate one of America's great women, Rosa Parks.